It is a gorgeous Sunday afternoon at Wrigley Field for Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. Today marks the end of an era, the Lou Piniella era, which started in 2007. Lou announcing before the game he will retire after this ball game due to family reasons. It's the Braves and the Cubs, the rubber game of this three-game series. We welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Hi again, everyone. Alongside Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. We knew going into this weekend it was going to be Bobby Cox's final series here at Wrigley Field. Little did we know it's Lou Piniella's final game today. Bob, his mom has not been feeling well. Lou had to leave the team a couple of times, and he just decided in the end he needs to be at home.
Well, I think Lou has always spoken very highly of family obligations. He's allowed players to take time away from the team to deal with family issues, so this is no different. And very selfishly, we're going to miss Lou. I don't know if there's a manager in the game that is as engaging, as funny, as astute about the game of baseball as Lou is when you have an opportunity to sit down and talk to him in the office the way we do.
He's been doing this for a very long time, an extremely emotional day for him. The Cubs try to win in his swan song. Let's go down to the field now.
Ignition. Sergeant Justin Pochner of McCook, Nebraska, is scheduled for deployment this fall for his fourth tour in the Gulf. He is currently attached with the Company C Husker Angels Med Evac in the Nebraska Army National Guard, based in Lincoln, Nebraska, with the 2nd Battalion, 135th Aviation Regiment. When not on active duty, Sergeant Pochner is a police officer for the city of McCook. Joining Sergeant Pochner is Lieutenant Colonel Martin Lucenti. Lieutenant Colonel Lucenti is a physician. Lieutenant Colonel Lucenti is a physician at Northwestern who serves in the Army National Guard. He has served 3 tours in Iraq and is currently serving with the Brigade Combat Team in Bagram, Afghanistan. Lieutenant Colonel Lucenti is currently home on leave. At this time, the Chicago Cubs would like to recognize Sergeant Pochner, Lieutenant Colonel Lucenti, and all of the men and women of the armed forces serving our country at home and abroad. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you all rise. Please kindly remove your caps and join Nate and Nathan Klinger as they honor the United States by first performing God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
Great job by Nate and Nathan Klinger with God Bless America and our national anthem. Well, again, today is all about Lou Piniella. We thought today would be more about Bobby Cox managing his final game here at Wrigley Field. Both announcing Bobby before the season and Lou in July that this would be their final year, 2010. But the family situation we have talked about with Lou's mother kind of expedited things here, Bob, and it's just time for him to be at home.
The game moves on, Len. I mean, we've seen a lot of great people come and go, both as players, as coaches, as managers, and I said it before about Bobby Cox. The same thing certainly applies to Lou Piniella. The game's not going to be the same without these two. They've been such great examples of what it means to be a leader of men at the major league level. They've both had tremendous success. They've both affected so many lives that this is a very sad day for baseball.
Here come the managers, Lou and Bobby,
Ladies and
to
gentlemen,
exchange a lineup card at home plate.
The organization would like to recognize the end of an era at Wrigley Field for two of the greatest managers in Major League Baseball history. He spent 29 seasons as a Major League manager and 25 at the helm of the Atlanta Braves. He led the Braves to 14 consecutive division titles from 1991 to 2005 and won 5 National League pennants during that span. In 1995, he led the Atlanta Braves to a World Series championship. Congratulations to Bobby Cox on an outstanding career. This morning, Chicago Cubs manager Lou Piniella announced his decision to step down following today's game. Lou is one of only 5 skippers to win at least 3 Manager of the Year awards, including 2008 with the Cubs. Piniella retires as the 14th winningest manager in Major League history. He enters today's game with 1,835 wins in his 23 big league seasons as a manager. The Ricketts family and the Chicago Cubs would like to congratulate Lou on a tremendous career.
So here we go. It's a rubber game today. Lou Piniella's final game as a Major League manager. Coming up next. By Budweiser, with full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Submit your idea at refresheverything.com. And by Illinois Lottery's newest game, Powerball. Wednesday and Saturday jackpots start at $20 million. A very emotional Lou Piniella today. We get a chance to be around him every single day. And for those out there who think that he cared any less this season about the fortunes of his baseball team, that's just flat out wrong. It's been a very difficult year for Lou on and off the field, obviously with his family situation, but he has lost a lot of sleep this season trying to figure out ways to help this team get better. And today will be his final game. We'll get the Braves lineup here for you in a second. Randy Wells on the mound today. His first start of the year was a win, the Cubs' first victory in Atlanta, third game of the season. And Omar Infante fouls off. We're underway.
Randy Wells coming off his best outing of the season, a 1-0 loss to the San Diego Padres. He went 7 strong innings, only gave up 3 hits in that 1 run, and that was the difference in the ballgame.
Matching up against left-hander Mike Minor, a rookie for the Braves, facing the Cubs for the first time. Cubs held on 5-4 yesterday as Infante drives that ball deep, and a leadoff home run for Infante. Just his 5th of the year. The wind is actually blowing in today, but he still got it out into the bleachers in left center, and the Braves lead 1-0.
The wind is blowing pretty much straight in from left center field right now, but watching batting practice today, it appears to be one of those thin winds. It didn't really affect many of the balls that we saw hit earlier this afternoon, and certainly did not affect that ball off the bat of Infante.
7th career leadoff home run for the All-Star Omar Infante, and a 1-0 pitch to Jason Hayward. Now 2 balls, no strikes. Caught the outside corner, according to the home plate umpire Dale Scott, the crew chief. Low for ball 3, 3-1. And there's ball 4. As we check in on the rest of Bobby Cox's lineup, Braves come in 2.5 up on the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League East. Martin Prado coming up, followed by Derek Lee, who's still looking for his first hit as a Brave. Brian McCann catches. Melky Cabrera's in left. Alex Gonzalez at short. Rick Ankiel won the game on Friday. Tough one for him yesterday, 0 for 3. And the pitcher Minor will hit 9th. Infante leadoff homer, Hayward walked, and now it's Martin Prado. With that home run, Omar Infante has now hit 11 in a row, so he has been red hot.
Look at the numbers for Randy Wells this season. The 5-11 record, ERA just under 4.5. As Len mentioned, his first victory of the season came against these Atlanta Braves down at Turner Field. Went 6 strong innings, scattering 6 hits, did not allow a run in that ballgame.
Ground ball, and Ramirez can't get it as it rolls into left.
Let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively behind Randy Wells this afternoon. Brought to you by Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Soriano Bird and Jeff Baker across the outfield today with the left-hander throwing for the Braves. Ramirez and Castro on the left side. Barney and Nady on the right side. Coy Hill doing the catching for right-hander Randy Wells.
Another nice hand for Derek Lee. They got on their feet again yesterday before his first at bat. 0 for 7, 2 walks and a run in the series as he made his Atlanta debut on Friday against his former team. And he bats with 2 on and nobody out. One of the best players in Cubs history. The offensive numbers tremendous. An OPS of over 900. A fantastic defender. And set a great example every single day in that clubhouse.
I don't know if there's a way to even come close to estimating the number of outs and runs that Derek Lee saved with his glove over there at first base. A very underrated part of the game, unless you have a bad first baseman.
That's a good point. Bounce to third, right on the bag. It's a fair ball, and they only get one as Nady could not handle the throw from Aramis Ramirez. So it'll be first and third with 1 out. A fielder's choice for Lee. Well, not a good throw, but it looked like a ball Nady normally would handle. There will be an error on Ramirez because Prado went from second to third as the throw got away from Nady.
A nasty sinker all the way across the diamond that time to Xavier Nady. Well, it took kind of a funny hop because of the side rotation on that sidearm throw. It's not always going to take a true bounce if the rotation is not pure, and that time it skipped away from Nady.
So Lee at first, but now 0 for 8 in the series. Here's Brian McCann, the catcher. 0 for 4 this weekend. And 0 for his last 10 overall. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Popped into left, not terribly deep. Prado ready to tag, but he will not attempt to score. Time now for our Chrysler game forecast. We finished the week a lot like we started it. Cooler temperatures, the wind blowing in today on this beautiful afternoon. It's brought to you by Chrysler. For more information on our vehicle lineup, log on to Chrysler.com or stop by your Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana Chrysler dealer today.
Randy Wells in full damage control mode right here. If he can wiggle out of this first inning, allowing only that leadoff home run, you'd have to say he did his job, and hopefully the Cubs offense will be able to get that run back very quickly.
A 1-0 to Cabrera off the end of the bat, foul out of play. He's trying to snap an 0 for 12. Wells gets the sign. And here's the pitch. Another foul. Coy Hill catching it again today. He's been very busy. Giovanni Soto will likely come off the disabled list tomorrow in Washington. Mitch and Dale Scott behind the plate. Jerry Meals at first. Mark Wegner at second. Dan Iasonia over at third. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. The Braves get one on the leadoff homer by Infante, but they also strand two. The Cubs are coming up. Base coach today will become the 51st manager in Chicago Cubs history. From the northwest suburbs, went to Prospect High School in Mount Prospect. So from here on out, it'll be Mike Quaddy's Pepsi lineup. But for one last day, Lou Piniella's Pepsi lineup, brought to you by Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Darwin Barney, Starlin Castro make up the double play combo. Bunch of veterans in the middle. Bird, Ramirez, Soriano, Baker, and right against the lefty. You have Xavier Nady at first. In the battery today, Hill and Wells.
Quick look at the Braves defensively today. Melky Cabrera in left. Jason Hayward over in right. Rick Ankiel in center field. Bobby Cox had the best throwing arm he's seen from the outfield in his career. That's pretty high praise coming from Bobby. Prado, Gonzalez, Infante, and Lee across the infield. Brian McCann doing the catching for left-hander Mike Minor.
Only 22 years old. His first two major league starts have been quality outings. He got his first win 5 days ago against the Washington Nationals.
Good fastball, really good straight changeup. He also has an overhand curveball. If he's commanding the curveball and has three quality pitches to use, he can be very tough.
It's Darwin Barney leading it off for the Cubs. Natural shortstop. They're getting used to playing second base. And Starlin Castro probably manning shortstop for a while. Cubs seem to be in pretty good shape, Bob, in terms of the middle of the diamond for the short-term and long-term future. Hak-Ju Lee, fantastic shortstop in the Cubs minor league system. Will probably get a look at some point over the next couple of years.
As providing that Darwin Barney can successfully make the change to second base, we haven't seen anything that would indicate otherwise. Though he had relatively little playing time at second base at AAA Iowa this year, he seems to have made the adjustment up here at the major league level very well.
Working a lot with Alan Trammell, the bench coach, Ivan De Jesus, the first base coach, who probably will move over to third starting tomorrow in Washington. They'll shuffle a little bit on the coaching staff. The staff will remain intact for the rest of the year as Barney swings and misses. Darwin Barney also worked at second with his manager at Iowa, Ryan Sandberg. You don't want to put a label on somebody this early on. Barney certainly, Bob, could grab that second base job and not let go of it, but at the very least, I would say Darwin Barney should be a very good utility player at this level. Can play both middle infield positions, and again, Hak-Ju Lee might end up being an everyday player at some point down the road. It's low to Castro. 2 balls, no strikes. We will chat with Cubs Vice President and General Manager Jim Hendry in a couple of innings as we look back on the Lou Piniella era that included 2 consecutive division title seasons, 2007 and 2008. Lou's first 2 seasons here in Chicago. We should also note, Jim, in talking to the media today regarding Mike Quaddy and Alan Trammell, is that's deep to right. Jason Hayward will not make the catch. Clangs off his glove for a double for Castro. Got to the spot, just could not put it away.
Ball was struck extremely well. I think it fooled Hayward a little bit out there in right field. We know that Starlin Castro has opposite field power. His first hit in the major leagues was an opposite field home run, and Hayward got turned around a couple of different directions. Gets a glove on the drive, but can't make the play as he protects himself against the vines out there in right field.
Runner in scoring position for Marlon Byrd. He pops it foul off to the right. Mike Quaddy has been in the Cubs organization for quite a while. and has been a manager for a while. This is his 8th season in the Cubs organization, and before he became the third base coach, he was a manager at AAA Iowa. 17 years of minor league managerial experience. Jim said that he will be a candidate for the full-time job after the season. And Henry also indicated that Alan Trammell will not be a candidate for the job, and that's why he is not managing the team for the rest of the season. Alan understood and wanted to remain on the staff to assist Mike Quade over the final 6 weeks. You say, Bob, I think Tram did a yeoman's job filling in when Lou had to head back home a couple of different times. It's just the way the season has gone. It seemed like during those stretches, the Cubs battled some day-to-day injuries. I think that last road trip, there was a roster move made almost every single day, but Allen kept his head up the entire time, maintained a very positive, hardworking attitude, and the results didn't show, but he worked very hard behind the scenes.
Yeah, effort does not always equate to success, and because if it did, they'd have won every game while Alan Trammell was the interim manager. Talking about Mike Quade, 17 years of experience managing at the minor league level, nearly 2,400 games spent sitting in the hot seat as a minor league manager, 2-time minor league manager of the year, once in 1991 and then again in 1993.
Castro was running and through the hole on the left side. Prado kind of vacated his position to head over toward third with Castro running, and that's where Marlon Byrd hit it to tie the game.
I think those were two independent acts right there. I think Starlin Castro was running on his own because he felt he could get a jump, and Marlon Byrd swung at a pitch that he thought he should hit. Fortunately, worked out extremely well for the Cubs as Prado left his position at third base, leaving a hole on that side of the field, and Byrd was able to find it for an RBI hit.
Now, Aramis Ramirez has had a big series. And you go back to Thursday against San Diego, 7 hits, 2 doubles, a home run, 5 knocked in. He is tied with Casey McGee of the Milwaukee Brewers atop the RBI leaderboard in the NL since the All-Star break. 29 knocked in. When fouled back. We are very happy for Mike Quade. He grew up following the Cubs. And how many Cub fans can say they've managed this team? He's one of them now, starting tomorrow night in Washington. He was a teammate of Cubs assistant general manager Randy Bush at the University of New Orleans. Played shortstop and center field in college. Spent some time as a minor league player, and here he is, a major league manager. We run into Mike's parents all the time. They make their home in South Florida. I have a feeling Mike's folks might jump on a plane here this week. Aramis could not hold up. That's strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for the left-hander Minor. We are email accessible at LennonBob@Tribune.com. And you can follow us at Twitter.com/LennonBob. Alfonso Soriano, who's hit 300 on the homestand, 6 for 20. Cubs are trying to win their second series over the last 8. They have dropped 6 of 7. Their last 2 series wins have come against the St. Louis Cardinals, including 2 out of 3 last weekend. swing and a miss, 1-1. Mike Minor came out of Vanderbilt. 7th overall pick last year. He was born in Chapel Hill, Tennessee. Like the approach and results against Tommy Hanson yesterday. He's got 5 runs, 5 innings against the right-hander, and been pitching extremely well.
Unfortunately today against the left-hander Minor, you're not going to be able to jump out there expecting fastballs in fastball counts. We've already seen him use that straight changeup effectively here in the first inning, especially in those counts where he's behind.
Popped up on the infield, back of the mound, and it'll be handled by Fonte, the second baseman. The Cubs tie it up on the Bird RBI single. It's 1-1 after 1. Green Celebrity Bat Kids, Molly and Tim Gunderson from Bristol, Indiana. For more information on how you can be a Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kid, go to WGNradio.com. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs.
I ran into Molly and Tim in the dugout before the game, found out they were brother and sister. I said, listen, no fighting today. And Tim said, that's what my mom said before we left the house.
Hopefully they heeded your advice. 2 balls, no strikes on veteran shortstop Alex Gonzalez. Those numbers we showed you on the graphic as a member of the Braves. He came over in mid-July from the Toronto Blue Jays. 20 home runs overall, 17 of them in 85 games with the Jays. Foul pop, Nady over right in front of the tarp. The wind's going to push everything out of play in that area. The wind blows in more than it blows out, but this time of the year, more often than not, it will blow out, as it has for most of this homestand. Gonzalez, when he gets ready to hit, a little tug on his collar. Ramirez moving a bit to his left. Good throw to Nady.
Hey fans, Monday, August 30th is Andre Dawson Day right here at Wrigley Field, presented by Private Bank. Game time is 7:05, but be sure to arrive early for a special pregame ceremony honoring new Hall of Famer Andre Dawson, starting at 6:40. The first 10,000 fans will also receive a number 8 Andre Dawson the Hawk hat. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Rick Ankiel's weekend, Bob, I think a great microcosm of what this game is all about. Friday had an outfield assist, and then in the 9th inning won the game with a 3-run triple off Carlos Marmol. He's thrown out by a step. Well, yesterday, 3 at-bats, 3 strikeouts. So he was on top of the world one day and underneath it the next.
And if you're going to be a successful major league player, you have to learn how to handle both of those situations. Everybody's going to have an opportunity to be a hero one day, and you're also going to have to take your turn being the GOAT. Plenty of experience at that.
1-0 on the pitcher, Mike Minor. Left-handed thrower, right-handed batter. Reminds you a little bit of Randy Johnson. I don't know if you know the band, but I saw a quick blurb recently about Randy Johnson working as a photographer, covering concerts. I don't know if it was one specific band he was traveling with or one venue, but he was backstage as a photographer. He had like a credential and everything.
Wow. That stands to reason. A guy 6'10", he can shoot over the heads of the people out in the audience.
Swing and a miss to end the inning. Second strikeout for Wells. A 1-1 tie early. Time now to check out today's improvement from Menards. Before and with Lou. See the Cubs record in 05 and 06 since 2007. Cubs are 24 games over 500. For all your home improvement needs, shop and save big money at Menards.
And for Lou, in his time here in Chicago, it's all been about wins and losses. He really gets his dander up when you talk about moral victories and the like. When the ball club has lost a game, you either win them or you lose them.
Called strike on Jeff Baker, 1-1 to count. Says he's really going to miss it here. I'm just talking to Lou over the course of the last 4 years. Baker fouls it off. Kind of following his career and hearing all the stories about where he's been. He was with the Yankees back as a player and then as a manager, briefly the general manager. But really since then, he went to Cincinnati, small market team. They upset the Oakland A's in the 1990 World Series. The Seattle Mariners were really not on the map. And he took over there as Baker takes a called strike 3. So Minor with 3 punch-outs already. Led them to 116 wins 9 years ago. Everybody knows the challenge here on the north side of Chicago. So it's not as if Lou has just gone to the easiest situations in his career. He has enjoyed the challenge. I think he would tell you ultimately disappointed that he did not get this team into the World Series while he was here. But 3 consecutive winning seasons to start his tenure here. Nobody had done that in 70 years with the Cubs. One and one the count on Xavier Nady. Hey, Cub fans, don't forget to check out our WGN Baseball blog on WGNTV.com. We have posts about Lou's departure. Plus, hear all the news conferences from this morning. We have game notes from Stats and much more. We'll have our new podcast up in about 24 hours as well. Once again, WGNTV.com. Click on sports. Look for the link to Len and Bob's blog. Full count, 3-2. While Lou may work as a consultant, it would probably be in a very limited capacity, whether it is with the Cubs or another organization. So I think that's the other part of the emotional component of this afternoon. 18 years as a player, almost 23 years as a manager. And there's a guy who's been in baseball for the last half century.
Most of it spent wearing the uniform on the field. That's going to be a big source of separation anxiety for Lou. But as I said earlier, the game moves on with or without you. He's not the first manager to retire. He won't be the last.
Nady aboard with a 1-out walk. That'll bring up Coy Hill.
Maybe his wife Anita will allow him to wear a uniform around the house back in Tampa. Just no cleats.
I have a feeling he's going to get out the Tommy Bahama shirts. Nice pair of light linen shorts, some sandals, and a margarita by his side.
I got to tell you, Len, one of my lasting memories of Lou came back in 1996. I was doing national network games, and we went to Seattle to do a ball game. Lou, of course, was the skipper there, and I don't mean to cast any aspersions on Lou, but back then he was a smoker. He's since quit that habit a long time ago, but talking to him in his office one day at the old King Dome in Seattle, and he had a cigarette burning in the ashtray. He had one in his hand and absentmindedly went to light a third one. He was just so involved in the conversation. We were talking about baseball and dealing with superstars, and he was getting more and more animated and more and more absent-minded. He had 3 heaters going at one time.
One and 2 on Hill. As Minor checks on the runner Nady. A 3-time manager of the year, twice with Seattle and then 2008 with the Cubs, and the only skipper to lead 2 clubs to wire finishes. 2 down in the inning. Cincinnati in 1990 and then Seattle in 2001.
The 26th annual Cubs convention will take place at the Hilton Chicago on January 14th, 15th, and 16th, 2011. Rooms are available now by calling the Hilton Chicago at 312-922-4400 and asking for the Cubs convention rate. Weekend passes will go on sale in early November. For more information, as always, visit Cubs.com.
One strike on the pitcher, Randy Wells. By the way, the answer to the Randy Johnson question, it was Lollapalooza. He was working as a photographer for Soundgarden, who performed the final show on Sunday night. It's a pretty good gig. It's hard to be inconspicuous, though, as a photographer. You are 6'10". Get some pretty good angles, though. You know, a lot of the photographers carry around the little step ladder to get a good angle over all the media surrounding a celebrity, but I don't think the big unit needed that at all. Swing and a miss by Wells as Minor strikes out the side. Jim Hendry coming up. It's a 1-1 tie after 2. Welcome back. 1-1. We get into the 3rd inning. Len and Bob along with Cubs Vice President and General Manager Jim Hendry. Tough day today, Jim. I know a very emotional day for you, for Lou Piniella, and the entire Cubs family.
Yeah, it is a tough day, Len, but obviously the man's had such a great career, done so many things for not only the Cubs, but for the game for a long, long time as a player, coach, successful manager, had an impact on so many people's lives and players' lives. It's just a shame that he's got so many family concerns now that he really does feel like he needs to be home. He would have loved to send him out with a better club, and have had a better year. But it's great that we can honor him today, and it's all about Lou today. And I think the crowd and the guys in the clubhouse really made him feel special today.
We've got 6 more weeks to talk about all the other stuff. You're absolutely right about today being Lou's day. 1-2 the count on Omar Infante, who hit a leadoff homer. The Cubs tied it in the bottom of the first. All right, I got to ask you about this. Now, when you were 6, you watched Lou play high school basketball?
Yeah, my oldest brother was a sophomore in high school at Tampa Jesuit High School, and he took his little brother to a lot of the high school games in Tampa. It was about 20 miles from where we grew up in Dunedin, and Lou was a tremendous high school basketball player and a 30, 35 point a game guy in high school. So my earliest remembrance as a kid of young high school great players was Lou Piniella.
And you got to hire him prior to the 2007 season.
Yeah, it was very special.
Pinch yourself.
Yeah, it was very special, and we joked about that. During the interview process. Of course, he didn't remember my brother or me, but or why would he?
So, what legacy does Lou leave here on the north side?
Well,
it's deep to right. Baker's back on it, and Jason Hayward just got it over the basket and into the front row. It's now 2-1 Atlanta. A home run by Jason Hayward.
Well, I think, Glenn, we obviously came close in 03 and had a good team in 04, but I think really the 07 season was really good because, we were down and out at the end of May, and we got off the mat, and Lou brought that home, the division title, and then, we really had the best team in the National League for the whole season in 08, and we just had a quick exit in the playoffs. But I think that, it's just more or less become the standard. Either we get in or we don't. It's a good year if we get in, and it's not a successful year if you don't, and unfortunately, of his 4-year reign, that this obviously is going to go down as the worst. But let's not forget all the good things he did here for all of us, and certainly was very important to us moving on the last few years and as we move forward.
And Jim, during Lou's time here in Chicago, a phrase we heard a lot as Prado's going to ground out to Starlin Castro at shortstop, raising the bar. And personally, I think that's a good thing for an organization. When you have more expectations on yourself, you expect to be in postseason baseball. So I think for me, that's one thing I'll remember about Lou's time here.
I think you're exactly right, Bob. And he wouldn't have had any other way when he came here. And I think that's a very fair standard. We live in a huge market, great ballpark, great ownership now. And certainly our expectations should be to get in. And obviously, at the end of the day, and you've certainly been on many good teams yourself and managed a world championship team, but sometimes the best teams don't always win when you get in. And in our case, we thought we should have gone farther, certainly in 08. But I think those are fair expectations, and I think that also does cause the obviously disappointment from all of us when we have a year like this.
Derek Lee at the plate. We would be remiss in not acknowledging at this moment with you in the booth, and you have a very special relationship with Derek and have for a long time. His accomplishments here on the north side, Jim, just hearing some of the numbers and looking them up, one of the great Cubs of all time. Yeah,
he did a great job here, and he played with a lot of pain and discomfort. He had a lot of quality years, and then the 1 year with the wrist injury and the surgery. But overall, what doesn't get appreciated from Derek was he wanted to line up every day. Playing 155 games was what he expected out of himself. There weren't days off. There were 20 days a year that he probably shouldn't have played, and nobody knew it. So he's one of the old school great guys that once you pay him and he's out there to perform a job, he's going to play for you. He's not going to take days off.
The 3-2 lead just outside ball 4. And tomorrow night in Washington, D.C., third base coach Mike Quade will become the 51st manager in Cubs history. And as we said earlier, pretty neat. Guy who grew up in the northwest suburbs rooting for the Cubs, has been an organizational guy for 8 years and 17 years of managerial experience in the minor leagues.
Right. He's not going to be new at it. He was a very, very good minor league manager, something he wanted to do for a long time. And we just felt with 6 weeks to go that he deserved an opportunity. We're not looking at this as just playing it out. Randy Bush and I have a lot to learn about this ball club the next 6 weeks moving into the offseason, and we really felt like with Lou's departure that it was a good opportunity for Mike and a good thing for us. And I think a lot of people expected it was going to be Alan Trammell to finish out the string, and Alan and I had a very good conversation this morning. Think the world of him, but I did tell Alan that once we decided that he was not going to be the manager next year, which I have come to that decision lately, that we were better served not feeling like he should finish it and make him feel like he had a chance when he didn't.
Well, the end of an era, but the beginning of another one tomorrow. And Jim, thanks so much for the time as always.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks to Jim Hendry for stopping by. Cubs trail the Braves 2-1 as they try to win this series against another first-place club. This has been a very tough stretch for the Cubs. Final game of 17 in a row against teams that all have a very good shot at a postseason berth. The 0-1 on the way to Darwin Barney is up 1 ball, 1 strike. And I think kind of getting back to the basics, Bob, with everything we discussed moving forward with this ball club, not only the final 6 weeks of 2010, but into 2011. Not to downplay the importance of a manager at all, but I think Jim would be the first to tell you. And every guy we look at right there would tell you it's all about the players performing and executing. And this team has done that. They've won games. It was a huge opportunity for a lot of guys.
Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the Thirst Inning. Let's check out the crowd through the Thirst Inning fan cam and see who's enjoying the game.
Someday it would lead me back to you. That may be all I need.
That's Maroon 5 with Sunday Morning. Budweiser, it's what we do.
Mike Minor with 6 strikeouts already. He's only faced 10 batters. A career high, although it's only his 3rd start, 5 strikeouts in each of his first 2. And another one. That's 7 of them. 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 more here to start the 3rd. He has punched out 4 in a row. AT&T Uverse TV launched the Chicago Cubs multi-view app in partnership with WGN Sports. Now for Cubs home games on WGN through the rest of the season, AT&T Uverse viewers can call their own shots. The multi-view app allows the viewer to choose from 7 different camera angles and watch 4 at the same time. Multi-view is on channel 780 and available to all Uverse TV customers in the Chicago area. One and 0 on Marlon Byrd. RBI single to tie it in the first. Braves got the lead back on a Jason Hayward 1-out homer in the top of this inning. Tell you what, Bob, if these players want Mike Quade to be their manager next year, the best thing they could do is win a bunch of games for him over the final month and a half. That gets back to my original point about performance.
Absolutely. I mean, you could have a consortium of the greatest managers in the history of baseball sitting at the helm of a team, and if you don't have talented players who know how to play the game and are committed to go out and get better on a daily basis, it's not going to make any difference. All about the player's performance, and any manager who's had any success at all at the major league level will immediately tell you it's because the players did their jobs.
Well, we heard Bobby Cox on Friday when asked about his impending retirement, what he remembers the most, what he looks back on. He kept talking about how fortunate he has been to manage really talented teams. Line drive right field. Hayward had to play that a bit cautiously, and Bird has his second hit.
First one a ground ball through the left side. This one a line drive right at the ankles of Jason Hayward out there in right field. Looked like he wanted to charge that ball and try to make the shoestring catch, but with nobody there to back up the play, 2 outs in the inning, he decided to back off and play it into a single rather than a triple.
Home run swing by Aramis. Strike one. What do you see here early on from Mike Minor that's been so tricky?
It's got a real good straight change up, and we talked about the curveball. If he's able to command that pitch, it was probably going to be a pretty good day for him, and so far he has been able to command that curveball. When he's been forced into fastball counts, for the most part, he's kept them out of the middle.
Well, that one might have been in the middle, and it's going to end up in the back of the bleachers. A go-ahead 2-run homer by Aramis Ramirez. So he stays hot, and it's now 3-2. Number 19 for Ramirez.
Just as we're talking about Mike Minor keeping his fastball out of the middle of the plate, he does just that. He grooves one to Aramis Ramirez down around the knees in the middle of the plate. McCann wanted the pitch on the outside corner. It comes right down the middle of the plate. A little bit low in the zone, right where Rami likes it, and no doubt about this one.
From Carlos Silva, who threw a simulated game this morning, as he is rehabbing from the heart issue.
And that's what you have to do against an opposing pitcher who appears to be on top of his game. If he does make a mistake, you better capitalize.
Ramirez hit .207 in the first half. He's been about 100 points better with his batting average since the break. 9 homers and now 31 RBIs in 33 games. Soriano swings and misses, so for the second straight inning, all the outs are strikeouts. However, here in the third, Ramirez with a 2-run shot, and the Cubs have their first lead today. underway here in the fourth inning. Cubs 3, Braves 2 on an Aramis Ramirez 2-run homer to the back of the bleachers and left. Cabrera shoots that one the other way into left.
Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN TV is sponsored in part by the Illinois Lottery Mega Millions. Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot is $110 million, actually 115 according to our graphic. That's
a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. 115.
Leadoff man is on. Alex Gonzalez 0 for 1. Ramirez in at third. 80 holding on Cabrera as Wells checks on him. Happy 51st anniversary wishes go out to Jim and Alice Oberbreckling from Coggan, Iowa. Celebrating here today with her family. Last year's 50th was rained out. I'm told the game, not the anniversary. Happy birthday wishes go out to Pat Alexa. Oh, and 2 to Gonzalez. Big group in attendance today from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Celebrating the 40th birthday of Dana Butchie. That note comes from Mary Wegner and Susie Marshall of Cedar Rapids. Wells trying to put away Gonzalez. There it is. And he does. Got him on a slider for his 4th strikeout.
Well, that was a pitch that Randy had working really well in his last start against the Padres. When he gave up only the 1 run over 7 innings, he was able to spot that slider on both sides of the plate, and it really became his put-away pitch in that last start.
Outside to Ankiel.
I think that's a valuable lesson for a young pitcher to learn, and I think sometimes we assume Randy Wells has had a lot more experience at the major league level than he really has. And by that I mean you leave the bullpen, you go out to the game mound and find what's working. It may not be what was working when you warmed up down in the bullpen. You may get out to the game mound and suddenly find that the pitch that was working so well for you in the bullpen has disappeared, and another pitch becomes your go-to pitch. That's a lesson that all pitchers have to learn at some point in their career. You may have preconceived notions of how I'm going to go about pitching to this lineup, but when you get out there on the game mound, if you don't have those weapons available, you've got to figure out a plan B quickly.
Ankiel bounces just foul. We've been talking about 2 all-time greats hanging it up. Another baseball ambassador has announced he's coming back in 2011. Vin Scully will return to the Dodger booth for his 62nd season next year. Made that announcement today at Dodger Stadium. So he was terribly embarrassed by all the attention. There goes the throw to second, skips into center. Cabrera will make his way to third on a stolen base and an error on Coy Hill.
That's one as a catcher, you almost have to make a good throw. Coy Hill had called for a high fastball, trying to get Ankiel to chase up out of the zone. I mean, that is almost a pitch out. And Coy just rushed his throw a little bit too much. It tailed down and away from Starlin Castro and unfortunately skips through into center field, allowing Cabrera to jump up and advance on to third.
The infield now will come in on a 2-2 to Ankiel. The pitcher's on deck. That's outside 3-2. Neither team runs a whole lot. The Cubs have the fewest steals in the National League. The Braves rank 14th, so they're third to last. And the payoff delivery is low and outside, so with first base open, he didn't give in. Bobby Cox will not manage at Wrigley Field again. Following today, 55-48 in his career in the friendly confines, which on Friday he called his favorite ballpark to visit, hands down.
He also said on Friday that he hopes at some point in the near future to come back here and watch a game as a fan. I asked him this morning, is that really true? Well, his bunted foul out of play by Mike Minor. He says, absolutely. He says, I'm looking forward to coming back here with my family, spending a nice weekend, enjoying the restaurants around town, and then coming to a ball game at Wrigley Field.
He spied Don Zimmer on a rooftop a couple of years ago. Foul right at the plate. Minor's simply trying to get Ankiel to second base. The runner at third, Cabrera, can kind of trail the third baseman. On that pitch, Bob, Cabrera didn't get very far off third base. There's nobody behind Ramirez to cover the bag. Bunted foul. That's a strikeout.
Not a great effort that time by Mike Minor to move the runner from first to second base, putting two guys into scoring position with 2 outs in the inning. That's something that you look at the stat sheets. Anytime there's a runner at third base and the batter at the plate is bunting, they consider that to be a squeeze situation or a squeeze bunt. And it's not always the case. Bobby likes to use that sacrifice bunt with runners at first and third just to put 2 guys into scoring position. But in that particular situation, if that bunt had gotten down fair and Cabrera was able to score, it would have been called a squeeze bunt, even though that's not necessarily the case. The runner at first plays it like a sacrifice bunt. The runner at third plays it like a safety squeeze. If he sees the bunt down on the ground and thinks he can score on the play, only then does he come on down the line. A true suicide squeeze, the runner is going as the pitcher delivers the ball to home plate.
Nobody has hit righties better than Omar Infante in terms of right-handed batters in baseball. 365 against righties. So among all right-handed batters with at least 180 at bats, that leads the way. Over the last 4 years, he's hitting almost 350 with runners in scoring position. And he crushes that one deep to left center for his second home run of this game. That is a 3-run blast, and the Braves lead 5-3. Wind blowing in today hasn't really mattered, has it? 3 homers for the Braves, the Cubs with 1. And both teams bringing out the power bats.
We talked about it briefly after his first home run in this ball game. The wind was not really a factor whatsoever in batting practice for both teams before the game today, and definitely has not been a factor since the game started. You see the reaction of Coy Hill behind home plate. You hear that noise, you see the trajectory of the ball, you're just hoping that it's not enough to get up into the basket. Unfortunately, it was.
Low for ball one on Jason Hayward, who homered in his last at bat. Fourth career 2-homer game for Omar Infante. The thing for Infante, when he hits a home run, he usually pulls it to straightaway left field. The two he's hit today have been to left center. Ball four, Hayward on for the third time.
You mentioned those numbers for Infante against right-handed pitching this year, and I think that's basically because he is very quick with his bat. He can wait a long time before deciding whether he wants to swing or not. Is that a hittable strike, or is it a pitch I should take and wait for a better one? And when he does let the bat go, he gets tremendous bat speed for a guy that you wouldn't envision having that kind of power. But I don't care what size you are, if you get that bat going through the hitting zone, make solid contact the way Infante has twice in this game, you can do some serious damage.
Martin Prado 1 for 2. In the series, he is 2 for 8. Recently came off the disabled list and missed 16 games due to a fractured right pinky finger. Fractured in the hip joint.
Like Gladys Knight in the Pips?
Possibly. I've heard more medical terminology that I'm very unfamiliar with over the last couple of years. Everything's very specific these days. Thomas Diamond up in the bullpen. Used to be broken finger. Now it's the fracture of the fourth metacarpal whatever. As Prado grounds out. 3-run homer by Infante, and it's now 5-3 Atlanta. Omar Infante, who was very briefly a Chicago Cub during an offseason prior to 2008. With a big day today. A couple of homers, 4 knocked in. Cubs had him for less than a month. So was he really a Cub? That's the question. Never wore the uniform, but he technically on paper was a member of the organization. They do say once a Cub, always a Cub. I don't know.
He's never been invited to the convention. So.
That's true. Swing and a miss, another punch out. Mike Minor has 9 of them. And we're only in the 4th inning. Wrigleyville Rooftops has premier seating for up to 200 guests for corporate gatherings, family reunions, and bachelor or bachelorette parties. Individual and group tickets are available for all games. For more details, go to WrigleyvilleRooftops.com or call 773-248-ROOF. Made one big mistake today. Ramos Ramirez made him pay for it when he works with a 5-3 lead. That one driven deep the other way. Xavier Nady off the wall, missed a homer by a couple of feet. And he will slide in safely with a double. Bang that one off the wall in deep right center.
That's going to have to be the approach against Mike Minor. You just give up trying to pull the fastball. Think about driving the fastball to the opposite field. We saw Marlon Byrd do it ahead of the Aramis Ramirez homer in the 3rd inning, and now Xavier Nady driving a fastball off the wall in right center field. If you try to pull his fastball, you're invariably going to be out in front of the straight changeup. So just give it to him. Say you're going to drive the fastball to the opposite field, and then if he does happen to throw you a changeup, you've got a better chance of putting it in play.
I don't know if that was your intention, but I love the fact that you worked in one of Lou Pinella's favorite words into the broadcast today, invariably.
Just a salute to Lou.
Yeah.
Well, I could have said Nady drove the ball off the ivory in right center field, as Lou referred to the ivy in his first press conference as the manager of the Cubs.
Coined the term a Cubby occurrence.
Yep. We all knew about him. We just didn't know what to call him.
One strike on Coy Hill. Hayward coming over. Wind pushing that ball toward the foul line as he makes a catch. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Glenn and Bob and our WGN Sports crew from Wrigley Field. Final game for Lou Piniella as a major league manager. Randy Wells pops it up. And the wind is going to push this one on top of the Braves dugout. Curveball for a strike. One missed. 1-2. Cubs were not going to face Steven Strasburg, who pitched last night in Philadelphia, an upcoming series in Washington. And it looks like his season might be over. He left his start last night with a forearm injury. He's scheduled to have an MRI today. It's his third start since coming back from a shoulder injury. So we will not get to see Steven Strasburg pitch in person here in 2010. Full count, 3-2 on Randy Wells.
If you're the Nationals, you have to wonder, is this most recent injury for Steven Strasburg related to the shoulder, or is this a completely separate and independent injury that he's developed since coming back?
All good questions.
Yeah, you know, sometimes in an effort to protect a pre-existing injury, you end up putting a lot of strain and stress somewhere else.
So Minor gets out of the inning with his 10th strikeout of the game. Now time for the fifth inning, brought to you by Subway. Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win five $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules. Well, the only good news to Mike Minor's start in terms of the Cubs' perspective is that he's had to make 77 pitches through 4 innings. And for a 22-year-old left-hander, probably not going to be able to go terribly deep into the late innings today, in spite of his 10 strikeouts early.
And his 2 previous starts at the major league level, a 94-pitch outing over 6 innings against Houston, and then 105 pitches over 6 innings against the Washington Nationals.
Derek Lee pops it up. Shallow right. Darwin Barney makes a catch in the bullpen. Nicely done.
Welcome to Wrigley Field, kid. Wind blowing, Sun shining, bullpen mounds to deal with over there. The guys in the Braves bullpen not offering a lot of assistance, but Darwin Barney able to stay with it, never takes his eye off the ball, and grabs it with 2 hands.
Andy Wells has given up 3 home runs today. Matches his career high. Gave up 3 in San Francisco a couple of starts ago. Dropped by Barney, but he has plenty of time to get in the can.
The 2010 Chicago Cubs baseball season on WGN is brought to you by Bud Light. The sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Called strike on Melky Cabrera. The Dodgers have claimed catcher Ron Barajas off waivers from the New York Mets. Dodgers beat the Reds last night. Johnny Cueto got roughed up. It's his first start since his 7-game suspension. He gave up 4 home runs in a 5-batter span, including Ryan Theriot, who took him deep. It snapped the Reds' 7-game winning streak. Fly ball deep left center, playable. Marlon Byrd for the inning. They go down in order. Bottom 5. 5-3 Atlanta. Rookie left-hander Mike Minor has been dominating at times here today. That one rocketed foul as Darwin Barney got out in front. Barney has struck out twice. Minor with 10 of them in his first 4 innings. Change-ups outside. 10 combined in his first 2 starts.
I'll tell you what, Len, we've seen some good straight changeup pitchers around the National League this year, but I don't know if I've seen anybody with a changeup as good as the one Mike Minor is featuring today. Not sure what his changeup looked like in those first 2 starts, but he's got a really good one today, a good feel for it.
Found that time on a breaking ball. Number 11. Let's check out who's moving forward with Toyota as Lou Piniella wraps up his Major League managerial career. Let's take a look at all the different stops for Lou. Winning records at every stop except for Tampa Bay, although we should point out in 2004 they won a then franchise record 70 games as he managed his hometown team. Toyota and your local Toyota dealers, official partner of the Chicago Cubs. One of the great attributes of Lou Piniella, he's an excellent listener. That one got away from the third baseman Prado, and Starlin Castro's on. That's an error on Prado. Heard about the Braves struggling defensively, and they have continued to struggle this weekend.
Prado got a little bit of a late start coming in, trying to smother that short hop. Couldn't get there quickly enough. The ball came up, hit him on the heel of the glove, and Castro reaches.
Marlin with 2 hits. Average has gone up 3 points since the start of action today. Ground ball in the hole. They will get 1, but that's it. Alex Gonzalez. Quick feet, quick hands. That's a ball, Bob. I think 90% of the shortstops around baseball with backhand, but not him.
Take a look at our BMW Ultimate Drive of the game. Aramis Ramirez took advantage of a rare mistake by Mike Minor to drive it to the back of the left field bleachers for a 2-run home run. Now's your chance to lease a new BMW 3 Series for $439 a month with nothing down and no security deposit. Visit ChicagolandBMW.com for details. Yeah, not only that, Len, you mentioned most shortstops would go to the backhand for this play. Also, most of them would backhand and throw to first. They would concede that that runner is going to make it from first to second, but Gonzalez gets it over there in plenty of time to get the force out and actually gave him an opportunity to possibly turn 2.
Second hit today for Ramirez. 2 on. For Alfonso Soriano. Cubs trail 5-3 here in the 5th. We've got the foot of the home plate umpire, Dale Scott. I was thinking about it today, Bob. Lou announcing this is his final game. And we always hope the umpires get it right. Can you imagine if there's just an awful call today? Lou's going to have to bite his tongue a little bit. He wants to finish the game too, right?
Not necessarily.
5-3 Atlanta. Randy Wells trailing the Braves 5-3. 1-0 on Alex Gonzalez, hitting 7th. Over in a deal that sent Yunel Escobar the other way. The Braves adding some veteran experience, a more steady presence at the shortstop position. Escobar, untapped potential, but had struggled to a .238 batting average and had no home runs. Actually been better with the Blue Jays. Any one of the Braves relievers might be used in this one, although we see Billy Wagner stretching out. He will not have to worry about it until the bottom of the 8th at the earliest.
Barely enough room for all of them to get loose down that right field line.
Cubs bullpen is quiet. Wells with a 1-2. A chopper to third. It's fair. Backhanded by Ramirez, who throws to first in time.
Untitled Watson from Naperville is today's Hit the Jackpot with Powerball contestant. If the Cubs hit a home run in the next inning, Untitled Watson will win 100 chances to win the Powerball jackpot. Wednesday's jackpot is worth $20 million.
Rick Ankiel, 1-0. Cardinals 8, Giants nothing. They're in the top of the 6th in St. Louis. Barry Zito got knocked out in the 4th inning, gave up 5 runs. Cardinals ended a 5-game skid last night. Wells over to cover first. They get Ankiel. Tickets are available now for Cubs games in August and September, in particular the series against the Houston Astros, September 6th, 7th, and 8th. Bleacher seats are still available as well. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office. Chris Carpenter beat Tim Lincecum last night. Lincecum has lost 4 consecutive starts, including one against the Cubs, and has allowed 18 runs in 19 1/3 innings during this stretch. Time defending Cy Young Award winner. I guess he's human. That's 7 straight retired by Randy Wells. 5-3 Atlanta in the 6th. fans, if you'd like to manage the game along with Lou Piniella, check out our WGN Sports Game Zone, brought to you by the Great Escape. Mike Quaddy will take over starting tomorrow night in Washington, D.C. And Game Zone sponsored by the Great Escape, pools, patio and play sets, hot tubs, and more. Jeff Baker, Xavier Nady, Coy Hill against this impressive left-hander Mike Minor. The fastball at 93. A wicked changeup. He's punched out 11 through 5 innings. Saw a lot of guys stretching in their bullpen, and now some guys are actually throwing, which would indicate Minor's probably not going to pitch a whole lot more. He's up to 91 pitches, but again, only 22 years old and making just his 3rd major league start. Three and one. Peter Moylan. Eric O'Flaherty. Moylan, the right-hander. Swing and a miss. 3 and 2. Thomas Diamond up in the Cubs pen. That's in case we get to Wells' spot in this inning. Alex Gonzalez flashing the leather again, 1 away.
Such great body control. He's able to leave his feet but still maintain control, regain his momentum, his equilibrium, turn, and it's about as routine a diving play as you'll ever see a shortstop make up the middle of the field.
Gonzalez knows if he really has to rush a throw, he can with Derek Lee at the other end. Something he did a lot many years ago when they were together in Florida. Like saving all of his infield teammates numerous errors over the years there and here in Chicago. Nobody would tell you this, but maybe some guys got into some bad habits with their throws just because Derek was so good.
Just get it in the vicinity.
Yeah.
I think the true statement for a first baseman is when, as broadcasters, we don't go crazy every time he picks one out of the dirt. It becomes unusual when he doesn't. It just becomes accepted that he's going to make the play on everything you get across the diamond somewhere close to him. He's going to make a play, and when he doesn't, that's when we're caught by surprise.
I think Derek would be the first to tell you he's just been okay defensively this year. And he would be the last to tell you that injuries have been the culprit for that, but I would say that's probably the case. He just hasn't moved as well as in the past. He's still one of the best in the business.
Want to see a Cubs game from the front row at Wrigley Field? Well, now you can. Visit Cubs.com and click on the CBOE front row seats auction to bid on tickets in the front row, behind home plate, and along the first base line. Front row seats will be auctioned off to every game all season long. Don't miss your chance. Go to Cubs.com and check out the CBOE front row seats auction today. Get a ball like that young lady. I'm guessing Dad had her glove on. It's just an educated guess.
It's his glove when he played in Little League. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Coy Hill with Randy Wells on deck. Again, if Hill reaches, pretty good chance the Cubs will pinch hit for the pitcher. This is slice out of play down the right field line.
And if indeed Coy Hill does reach and Lou elects to pinch hit for Randy Wells, it's probably going to be a left-handed bat. Wellington Castillo, the backup catcher, the only right-handed hitter available off the bench today. You've got 4 lefties in Colvin, Fukudome, Fuld, and DeWitt.
Coy wanted to swing, but a little bit too late, and he tried to hold up and could not. So that's 12 strikeouts for the rookie minor. 5-3 Atlanta. Major League rookie this season. And he's also tied the Braves franchise rookie record with the 12 strikeouts. Aramis Ramirez stays hot with a 2-run homer in the 3rd. Visit your Honda dealer. Test drive a 2010 Honda CR-V. They are working on the landing spot for Randy Wells. You have a lefty and a righty, so it could kind of mess up the landing spot for one or the other or both.
Well, sometimes you find yourself just landing on the edge of the other guy's landing area. And the last thing in the world you want to do is roll an ankle just because of a bad hole out in the front of the mound. So they called the ground screw out. They very quickly repaired not only the area out front where the pitchers land, but also the hole in front of the rubber itself. Good as new.
On our honeymoon with Len and Bob. Did you know we're on their honeymoon?
No, I didn't.
I think you wanted to know. Omar Infante will lead off the 7th. Let's say there's a 99.9% chance Mike Minor is done after his 104 pitches and 6 very solid innings. Eric O'Flaherty continues to loosen in the Braves' pen. Slider missed, 2-0. Infante with 2 home runs in this game. James Russell has joined Diamond in the Cubs pen. This will be the last inning for Randy Wells. He'll get the entire inning at most because his spot will lead off the bottom of the 7th, and the Cubs are trailing. So I think Johnny Venters has replaced O'Flaherty in the bullpen. Slowed down by Ramirez, but Infante has his third hit.
Infante seeing the ball as big as a beach ball against Randy Wells today. Hard one hopper right off the lip of the grass. All Ramirez can do is knock it down, hope that it stays in front. Unfortunately, it trickled behind him for an infield hit.
Hayward with 2 walks and a home run. They call it strike. It is Venters, not O'Flaherty in the bullpen. Boy, he was nasty yesterday. Hard sinker from the left side. Good slider.
And that's unusual. You don't see a lot of heavy sinker ball pitching left-handers. And especially as hard as he throws it in the mid-90s.
Sounds like a comic book hero, Johnny Venters. Base hit right field as they threaten with nobody out. Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Lou is going to make a change. A double switch. Thomas Diamond coming in. Jeff Baker and Randy Wells will leave. Tyler Colvin coming in along with the right-hander. 5-3 Atlanta in the 7th. AT&T, rethink possible. So Tyler Colvin will play right and will lead off the bottom of the 7th. Rookie right-hander Thomas Diamond trying to help Randy Wells bail him out of the 7th inning. 2 on, nobody out. Ball 1 to Martin Prado. Three starts for Diamond before he was moved to the bullpen. 4 days ago against San Diego, 2 scoreless innings. It was his best outing to date. Derek Lee on deck. Could be two, but it's going to be none. Hit hard, but Barney was there, and that'll be an error on him. And they're now loaded up for Derek Lee. That's 3 errors by the Cubs today.
Seemed to be a tailor-made double play ball, hard hit grounder, kind of leading the second baseman toward the bag, but just doesn't come up with it cleanly. Everybody's safe.
Lee still seeking his first hit of the series.
Time now to take a look at our PNC Cubs achiever. He's no longer a Cub, but the 2005 season for Derek Lee, just absolutely amazing. Career high in all those categories. PNC Bank is proud to be an official sponsor of the Chicago Cubs and just as proud to support the fans and community who cheer them on. PNC, for the achiever in us all.
Outside corner, 1-1. Following season was kind of wrecked by the wrist injury suffered in Los Angeles. Big year last year with 35 homers in 141 games. Popped into shallow center. Everybody's going to hold up. So Lee can't come through with the bases loaded. But that's only the first out. Lou's going to make another change with left-handed swinging Brian McCann coming to the plate. It'll be James Russell for Thomas Diamond. Still 5-3 Atlanta. And we'll be back here in the 7th. Recording a new one right after the game today. Normally we would be in our podcast studios, but it's getaway day, so we'll do it from the ballpark.
Well, and we'd have to have the entire staff come in on a Sunday, and that's not fair to them. We want them to enjoy their weekend. Beautiful day like this in the city of Chicago. We don't want them to have to come into the studio today.
That's the kind of guy you are. Lefty against lefty. Brian McCann swings and misses at a James Russell slider. Bases loaded, 1 out. Russell trying to keep it close. Nady to Castro. Relay throw to Russell, but he was not on the bag. Could not locate it. So that turns into a fielder's choice RBI as Infante scores the Braves' 6th run.
Everything about this play except the very tail end of it is just the way you draw it up. 3-6 for the force out at second. The relay throw back to first in plenty of time, but James Russell just didn't know where he was on the field, searching for that bag over there at first base, and that's going to cost the Cubs a run.
So they're at the corners with a run in, and Melky Cabrera now batting right-handed against the southpaw Russell. Strike one. So they've had 2 shots at a double play in this inning, and in one case didn't get any outs on the error by Barney, and then the latest an RBI fielder's choice for Brian McCann. Sometimes defensive issues, it's not about errors. It's about not being able to turn that difficult double play. It would have been an impressive one for the Cubs to turn it and get out of the inning, but it was there for the taking.
Almost all the time, it's a little bit tougher for a left-handed pitcher who falls off the mound to the third base side to get over there and cover the bag, but it appeared that Russell was over there in good shape. He just never found the base.
Seventh inning stretch coming up. Mike McConnell from WGN Radio, the midday host, will conduct the stretch. Looking forward to that. Two balls, 2 strikes. Now Russell ready. Here's the pitch. He's run it full. Gonzalez watches from the on-deck circle. There goes McCann on the 3-2 pitch. Ball almost hit Jason Hayward as it was shot past him and the Cubs bullpen.
It seems like we pointed out every time it happens, Len, but that's why the base runner at third always leads off the bag in foul territory. If he would happen to get hit by a batted ball, it would just go as a foul ball. If he's standing in fair territory and gets hit by the batted ball, he's out.
That loads him up again. And Lou's going to make another change. It'll be sinker baller Justin Berg to face Alex Gonzalez. Third pitching change of this inning. 1 run in for the Braves, who lead 6-3.
family. Get your gear from the official source, thecubs.com shop. Accept no substitutes.
Bases loaded yet again for the Braves in this inning. Cubs using their fourth pitcher of the seventh, including the starter Wells. Inside to Gonzalez from Justin Berg. 1 ball, no strikes. So we've seen Wells, Diamond, Russell, and Berg all in this inning. Two and 0. Justin Berg looks a little bit to his right. He will notice there's nobody up in the Cubs bullpen. So it's up to him to get this final out. 2-1. I don't know what the major league record is for pitchers used in 1 inning. Can't imagine it's much more than 5. Cubs have already used 4 guys in 1 inning. Soriano coming in, and he couldn't catch it. And the Braves are going to get 2. He got to the spot, and now they have Gonzalez caught up, and the Braves will add another run. Gonzalez might have tried to get caught in that rundown as they get 3 on that play. Stretch time.
Mike McConnell.
All right, Cubs fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame, 'cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. All right, let's get it done.
Very rare for a lefty to feature a sinker in the mid-90s, but that is indeed what Johnny Venters features.
So they get 3 runs on that last play, 2 knocked in by Gonzalez. They got an extra run as Gonzalez got caught in the rundown. 4 total to lead 9-3. That was a very confusing end to that top of the 7th. Great to have with us a new midday host at WGN Radio, Mike McConnell, who conducted the 7th inning stretch. Mike, welcome to WGN. Nicely done on the stretch.
Fantastic to be here. Like I said, that's the one thing you can be asked to sing that no one expects you to do well. So that was fun to do. I've been watching that for years, so it's great to be up here. It really is.
Tyler Colvin grounds out. So tell us about your style.
Well, it's all current event stuff. Whatever's going on in the news is what we talk about, and maybe try to give people a different way of thinking about what's going on. I throw some wrinkles in there. It's I have a hard time explaining what I do or why it
you just have
seems to work, but
Barney's going to ground out. 2 quick outs. 8:30 to 12:30 on WGN.
Right. So I'm here. I'm soaking up the Cubs atmosphere. I've been in Reds country for 25 years, and I think I'm going to have no problem adapting. I'm really not. I grew up a Phillies fan and went to school in the University of Dayton near Cincinnati, and
base hit for Castro.
I stayed a Phillies fan throughout the 70s, and then the Phils won the series in '80, and there was no big celebration because I was nowhere near Philadelphia, and I realized I missed all those big red machine years, and it was stupid to be a big-headed Phillies fan throughout the 1970s. So, you enjoy what the people around you enjoy, and people around here enjoy the Cubs, and I have no problem rooting for the Cubs. It's going to be great.
And for day games during the week, your show will lead right into Cubs baseball.
I can shoot right out here to the pregame going, and I can be here in 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm working my tan. I'm a Cubs fan, I'm working my tan.
Well, that's a quick 7th as Marlon Byrd lines out to second base. Mike McConnell, WGN Radio. Welcome to town. Congrats.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks, Mike.
So.
(9-3) Atlanta. Big 4-run 7th inning. And Lou Pinella's final game as a Cubs manager announced this morning before batting practice that he's going to head back home to Tampa to help take care of his mother, who has been ill for some time. Rick Ankiel bounces to Xavier Nady. Boy, the batters have gotten very aggressive here in the late innings. We barely had a chance to talk to Michael McConnell in the bottom of the 7th. It went by so fast. Pinch hitter here, Eric Hinsky, is going to bat for O'Flaherty, who came in with the big lead instead of Venters. And there's a strike. Congrats to Matt Stairs. Last night he broke Cliff Johnson's all-time record with his 21st pinch hit home run. Hinske hit by the pitch. Might be the good luck charm for the Braves this season. He's been in the World Series each of the last 3 years with 3 different teams: Boston, Tampa Bay, and the Yankees.
Nothing lucky about that. Took that one right on the right hip. Smiling about it now. He wasn't smiling a few minutes ago.
One strike on Omar Infante. What a day he's had. 3 hits, 2 home runs, 4 knocked in. Punches that one into right for his 4th hit.
Well, you talk about a situational hitter. Omar Infante with that big hole on the right side of the infield. Just said, if you throw me something on the outer part of the plate, I'm just going to punch it through into right field. Very controlled swing. It's a high breaking pitch and just punches it through that huge gap on the right side of the infield. That's just smart hitting.
That's low. 1-1. Two and 1 on Hayward. And a base hit. Coming around third is Eric Hinske. Throw to the plate. A little bit late. So a perfect day for Hayward. Man, the top 2 guys in their lineup, they've done a ton of damage.
I'll tell you, Lynn, Hayward has struggled off and on since we saw him early in the season. But yeah, this guy's going to hit some really, really hard line drives in his career. That ball was absolutely scalded to right field. Tyler Colvin's throw back into the infield kind of took a big hop to Coy Hill. Had that ball stayed down and taken a harder hop, they may have had a play on Hinske at home plate.
Ball 1 to Prado. Cashner and Marshall have their own chairs. They're not on the bench. Marcos Mateo is getting loose. Pop fly left center. Soriano and Castro. Nobody gets it. And the bases are going to be loaded. Martin Prado with a bloop base hit.
Great jump by Soriano in left field. Too far to go for Starlin Castro, the shortstop. Prado just dunks this ball off the end of the bat into that Bermuda Triangle out there between the left fielder, center fielder, and shortstop. Nobody can get there in time to make the play. Fortunately, Marlon Byrd, as usual, backing up the play, hustled it back in.
Ground ball past Ramirez off the bat of Derek Lee. 2 more runs are in. Here comes a third. Prado scores. It is a 3-run double for Derek Lee, his first hit as an Atlanta Brave. And that makes the game 13-3.
I know it's the end of a long, miserable season, but I'm wondering if Aramis Ramirez is ever going to get in front of a ground ball the rest of the year. Every ball that goes down that direction, he plays it off to the side, and that time it got by him all the way down in the corner to clear the bases.
Brian McCann with an awkward swing. The kick and the 1-1 bounces past Coy Hill on a wild one, and Lee now at third.
You saw Alan Trammell there in your picture calling the infielders in, try to cut off Derek Lee at the plate. Should McCann put the ball in play to the infield. I believe that Derek Lee, the runner at third, will now make the ball go through before he tries to score.
The 2-1 is outside. By the way, the behind-the-scenes mass confusion, trying to figure out who actually pitched the bottom of the 7th for the Atlanta Braves. It was a quick 6-pitch inning. We thought it was Johnny Venters, but looking at our stats sites, they had Eric O'Flaherty, who had been warming earlier in the game. Well, it was Venters, we think. He was pretty nasty, too, as Larry Rothschild comes out after the Berg walk to McCann. I was going to say we didn't have much time to talk about Venters, who came in with quite a reputation, and he has lived up to it this weekend.
According to Fangraphs, his average sinker is 95 miles per hour. That means he throws some harder than that, some a little slower, but as I said, that's just an unusual commodity, a power left-handed sinker ball pitcher.
This game really getting away from the Cubs here in the last couple of innings. Atlanta got 4 in the 7th, 4 more here in the 8th. Challenging day for the official score. With all the stuff going on, Alan Spear the score. That'll be a fielder's choice for Cabrera, as the Cubs just can't turn 2. A slow developing play. Derek Lee is in, so Cabrera gets an RBI. It's 14-3.
Gasser had to wait back on that big hop, and in doing so eliminated any chance of possibly turning that double play. They do get the force at second. Barney with a nice effort to try to complete the relay, but Cabrera had already crossed the bag at first.
Diori Hernandez will bat for the shortstop Alex Gonzalez. Bouncing ball to Castro, and that'll end the inning. They get 5 in the 8th, and it's now 14-3 Atlanta. Henske will stay in and play first base, so Derek Lee done for the weekend as he got his first hit as a Brave, a 3-run double. Diori Hernandez, who pinch hit for Alex Gonzalez, will play defense. And right-hander Peter Moylan will do the pitching here in the 8th. Minor went 6, Venter's got the 7th, and here's Moylan. Ramirez plunks one into right center for a base hit. That's his 3rd hit of the day. Alfonso Soriano takes a strike. Cubs defense and the bullpen really letting this game get away, but they're rallying here in the 8th at the plate as Ramirez will head on to 3rd, Soriano to 2nd. And that is a milestone hit for Alfonso Soriano, his 700th career extra base hit.
Submarine slider that time. Soriano got out around it, hooked it down into that left field corner. That's a lot of extra base hits.
700.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't possess the same kind of speed now that he had earlier in his career, but he was a guy that had the kind of speed that on a routine base hit to the outfield, if you didn't hustle it back in quickly, he could easily end up with a double.
309 home runs, 26 triples, and 365 doubles for Soriano. Base hit left field. Here comes Aramis to make it 14-4 on an RBI hit by the pinch hitter Blake DeWitt.
The line moving. Sinker away. Nice piece of hitting by Blake DeWitt. We talked about Omar Infante for the Braves in that last inning, just shooting, Infante shooting one through the right side. Blake DeWitt does the opposite thing from the left side. Took a pitch away and just shot it through that hole on the left side.
So the first 3 batters of the inning with hits. Way outside, 2-0.
When the first 3 hitters you face in an inning bang 3 consecutive hits against you, it's human nature for a pitcher to try to work the edges or further away from the strike zone, hoping to get you to swing at some bad pitches. Xavier Nady took them.
Nice play, Eric Hinsky. They get 1. The relay throw to Moylan is going to be late. Soriano is in. Nady will get an RBI. 1 out in the inning. 2 runs in.
One of the first plays you work on in spring training is PFPs. Ground ball to the right side. Pitcher getting over to cover. We saw James Russell have some issues finding the bag, and Peter Moylan here as well came up short, reaching for the bag with his right foot.
So 14-5 tally as Coy Hill swings and misses. Giovanni Soto expected to be activated from the disabled list tomorrow in Washington. We might see some Tyler Colvin at first base too. Colvin has been taking ground balls during batting practice at first base throughout this homestand, position he hasn't played since he was in college. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for out number 2, and here comes Colvin. Colvin 0 for 1, came into play right in the top of the 7th. Nady takes off for second, will not be credited with a steal. Ground ball up the middle, backhanded. Infante has done it on both ends, offensively and here defensively. The Cubs get 2. It's 14-5. The Cubs today, 3 in the 4th for Atlanta on a home run by Omar Infante, and he was right in the middle of the rallies in the 7th and the 8th when they combined for 9. And they take a 9-run lead here into the final inning of regulation. Here's Marcos Mateo to face Rick Ankiel. Big swing and a miss. Our gun's at 99 on that fastball. '96 that time, just wide. 1-1. Lou Pinella's managerial career winding down. His team down big here in the 9th inning. Swing and a miss.
These are the kind of numbers you hope the Cubs offense would have put up for Lou Piniella today. He's always been an offense-oriented manager. Loves to see those double-digit hit and run totals. Unfortunately, up to this point, this wasn't meant to be today. Too much Mike Minor early. Boy, was he good.
Ankiel strikes out.
We've talked about Ankiel throughout this series, a dead fastball hitter, but if you put it in a location where he can't get to it, he's still going to chase it. That fastball up and out over the plate comes up empty.
Ball 1 to Hinske. '17th round pick of the Chicago Cubs in 1998 out of the University of Arkansas, Eric Hinske. Never did play for the Cubs big league team. Was the American League Rookie of the Year with the Blue Jays in 2002. Hinske had 24 home runs that year for the Blue Jays. That's still his career high. Swing and a miss. The pattern when Mateo pitches, Bob, seems to be a 3-2 count on every hitter. We've seen this a lot.
Yeah, we have, unfortunately. I'd like to see him jump ahead in the count a little bit, be able to expand the strike zone. Unfortunately, he expands the zone to begin the sequence a lot of times and then has to battle back into the count to get his outs.
His 7th major league appearance, he's averaged 20.4 pitches per inning. That's very high. All 4. So Hinske on. Cubs' next opponent, the Washington Nationals. They're in a delay in the 7th inning, trailing at Philadelphia 4-0. Roy Oswalt, 7 shutout innings, 5 hits. Mike Quaddy's managerial debut tomorrow night. Casey Coleman will face Livan Hernandez. We'll have game 2, Carlos Zambrano against lefty John Lannon. Boy, it's been a disappointing season for both those guys, both opening day starters. We know what Carlos has gone through. John Lannon spent some time in the minor leagues. AC Coleman looking for his first big league win as he'll go tomorrow night. And then Wednesday night, Ryan Dempster and his former teammate Jason Marquis, who's 0-6 with an 11.39 ERA. The kick, the 1-2. Infante has struck out twice today, but the other 4 trips resulted in hits and runs.
Good slider that time from Mateo. We talk about expanding the zone a little bit. That ball started in the strike zone at the knees and then bottomed out toward the outside corner. You can do that when you're ahead in the count and the hitter's in a more defensive mode up there at the plate.
Hayward has not yet been retired. 2 walks, a home run, 2 singles, 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored. Jason Marquis' career beginning streak of 10 consecutive playoff appearances will come to an end. What I mean by that is his team having made the postseason in his first decade as a big leaguer. Not going to happen for the Nationals, who are 19 games out. Jason Hayward, high and deep and gone. A 2-homer performance for the rookie. Well, we saw him take Carlos Zambrano deep in his first major league plate appearance in Atlanta, and that quite possibly is his final at bat against the Cubs this season. And he went down and got it.
Oh, he sure did. Went down and golfed that ball out here to right field. Very little doubt about that one. A towering home run. It only got 1 row up into the bleachers, but that had a lot of hang time.
The table setters have been the run producers today. 20 total bases between Infante and Hayward. They have combined to go 8 for 10 with 4 home runs and 8 RBIs.
That all?
8 runs scored, 2 walks. I would say they've done enough damage.
Well, they didn't steal any bases. Man.
I'd say a pretty thin wind today, huh?
Yeah, real thin wind. We've had days here at Wrigley where the wind was blowing out considerably stronger than this, and we didn't see much, if any, offense. Man, are they banging it out of here today?
That goes 3-1. Bottom 9, all Braves today. Bottom of the ninth. This is Lou Piniella's final game as not only the Cubs manager, but as a major league manager. Right-hander Christian Martinez will pitch for Atlanta. He's a rookie. Darwin Barney takes a strike. There's a scoring change from earlier in the game if you like to keep score at home. Starlin Castro hit a ball to third base. Martin Prado was charged with an error. They have taken the error away and have given Castro a hit. So Starlin now 3 for 4 on the afternoon. 0-2 on Barney with Castro on deck. You wonder what's going through Lou's mind right now. It's been a frustrating day. It's been a frustrating season for that matter.
You know, one thing that's probably not going through his mind right now, how he's going to handle his bullpen tomorrow night should he need to get into it early, because that's no longer an issue for Lou. Venture a guess that he's going to sleep a lot better. Food's going to taste a little better. Sun's going to shine a little brighter. It's amazing how a bad season can color your entire world. You try to separate your professional life from your personal life, but for somebody as competitive as Lou Piniella, that's not an easy thing to do.
Knocked down by the pitcher as he gets Barney. Braves got Martinez on waivers from the Florida Marlins back on April 8th. Fastball missing outside. 1-0 on Castro. Off the plate again. Back into the upper deck. The final score, strangely enough, on opening day in Atlanta was 16-5 Braves. That's the score as we play the ninth here today, as these two teams finish up the season series. Braves will take the season set 4 out of 6. Hayward coming over. And it'll land foul behind the bullpen mound.
The way Hayward pulled up on that ball, you wonder if maybe he wasn't getting some warnings from his own bullpen over there to watch out for that bullpen mound. He was getting fairly close. Looked like he still had another step or two to possibly make the play. He pulls up short. And Castro will have another opportunity.
His average has gone from 309 to 314 today. As he inches his way into competition for the batting title. Still 11 plate appearances shy. That was going into action today. I would say by the end of the month he'll be very close to qualifying. He would have ranked 6th in the league in batting average going into play. There's another hit. Number 4 for Castro. It's a one-out double.
Two doubles, two singles, a strikeout on the afternoon for Starlin Castro. This is just a hard ground ball down the third base line. It's past Prado and rattles around down there in the corner long enough for Starlin to end up easily at second base.
Already 3 career 4-hit games for the 20-year-old rookie. Bounced by Bird, fair ball. Throw by Prado, not in time. Castro's going to hold it third. Infield hit for the always hustling Marlon Bird. He has 3, all singles.
That's part of the reason Marlon Bird has been able to maintain his batting average all season long. He gets his share of these. Teams defensively in the infield play him back. He's not a threat to try to bunt for a base hit. And occasionally he'll roll over and hit a soft ground ball to the left side. And with that hustle out of the box and the speed down the line, he's able to beat it out for an infield hit.
Sam Folt's going to bat for Aramis Ramirez. Called up on Thursday from AAA Iowa. His first Major League stint this season. It would be a pretty safe bet that Sam will spend the rest of the year on the big league club. Oscars will expand in a little over a week anyway. That could be 2. And it is. And that's it. The Braves beat the Cubs 16-5. And what is Lou Pinella's final game as a Cubs manager. A little tip of the cap to Bobby Cox. On the other side of the field, he'll head back into the clubhouse, get some handshakes and hugs from his players. So the end of the Lou Piniella era here in Chicago. The final score today, the Atlanta Braves 16, the Cubs 5.